All right, let's actually do that example that we talked about using our present value calculation. So this was opportunity to buy a business. That business will earn this amount of money every year for the next 8 years. And the interest can be compounded by this much every year. So for this time frame, is this business worth its purchase price of $630,000? In other words, the present value of the total money gained from this business for the next 8 years is that at least 630,000. So present value, let's copy this formula down. Present value will be the integral from 0 to capital T of f of t, which is how many dollars per year we can invest, times e to the negative rt dt. So let's look at all these things. T. Well, T is the time. We're looking for the next 8 years, so that's going to be our capital T. F is a continuous income stream. F, remember, was given in dollars per year. So how many dollars per year can we invest? That's F. Well, it's telling us that it's a flat amount, $75,000 per year. And there's actually no T here. It's a constant income stream. Okay. The total amount from this income stream would be 75,000 times T. The actual amount each year, which is what F is all about. Again, this is always in dollars per year. The amount that we can invest is a flat amount of $75,000 each year. F is a rate. It's a rate of change. So that's what that's going to be. And then we need R as well. R is how we can invest it. 3.8%. Always remember to convert it to a decimal. Now we can just calculate it. 0 to T, which is 8. F, which is 75K. E to the negative 0.038 T dt. We could solve this with a substitution, do this by hand, but we're just going to use a calculator to simplify the calculations. So type that into a calculator. Integral from 0 to 8 of 75,000 times e to the negative 0.038 t is $517,000. $379.87. So it looks like at this interest rate, this company is only worth $517,000. That's less than the price. So it does not seem to be worth it for us to buy this company. And again, let's put things in perspective here. Right? We're making $75,000 each year for 8 years. $600,000 total. But that $600,000 in the future is only worth $517,000 now. We'd be better off investing our money elsewhere. Okay. If this were bigger than 630,000, then yeah, it would be worth it. But since we have access to this income stream or this interest rate, it's not going to be worth it. So we're going to say, this is less than 630K. So it's not worth it. All right. Now with different interest rates, it might be worth it. For example, if we lower the interest rate by 1%, go back to this old integral, right? We made the interest rate 2.8%. Oh, wait. It's still not worth it. All right. I wanted to check real quick because the book says it is worth it with their different interest rate. But I think they just evaluated the integral wrong. I calculated it multiple different ways of what they have written, and I don't know what's going on. So let's look at another example. A company is considering purchasing a new machine for its production floor. The machine itself is going to cost us 65 grand today. The company estimates that the additional income from the machine, we're going to be able to, produce and sell more things because of this machine. That additional income from the machine is going to be a constant $7,000 for that first year. But in the future, that income stream is going to be 800 more each year after that. In order to buy the machine, we need to be convinced that it's going to pay for itself by the end of 8 years with this additional income. So money can earn 1.7% every year for this company, which honestly is not great. Maybe this is accounting for inflation or something. I'm not sure, but it doesn't sound great. But anyway, the question is it going to be worth it? Should the company buy the machine? And again, we're going to compare the present value of this machine with its cost. And we can also compare this with the total additional revenue from this machine. So here, our revenue function's a little bit more confusing, because our revenue function, F, is how much additional revenue does it give us in dollars per year? Well, the first year, it's just a flat 7,000. And after the first year, it's going to be 800 more, and then 800 more again, and then 800 more again. So the rate is actually increasing as well. So the function is actually a piecewise function. For the first year, it's just a flat 7,000. Remember piecewise functions? And for the years after the first year, it's increased by 800 per each year. Careful. What's the formula for that? That means year one, it's still 7,000. But at the end of year one, at the start of year two, it'll be 78,000. So at the start of year one, it still needs to be 7,000. We're actually going to write it as 6,200 plus 800t. Because again, the whole first year, it's going to be 7,000. When t is equal to 1, it should still be 7,000. You can see that when t equals 1, both of these are 7,000. And then after that, it'll increase by 800 every year. It's a little bit tricky on this one to come up with this continuous income stream function. That's what we've got. So we got the integral from 0 to 8 of f of t, which is a piecewise function, times e to the negative r. They don't have such a great interest rate here. 1.7%, ugh, times t. And we just need to plug this in. How do you use piecewise functions for integrals? Well, you just break up the integrals into pieces. This will be the integral from 0 to 1 of the first piece, plus the integral from 1 to 8 of the second piece. So the first piece is 7,000. And the second piece is 6,200 plus 800t. Make sure to have parentheses here. Add these together. We can find out the present value of the machine. Let's take a look. I want to make a Reading Rainbow reference, but I don't think anyone nowadays knows what Reading Rainbow is. All right, so you type this in. Then we add it to the second integral. So which, by the way, before I add it, you can see that the present value for just the first year is going to be less than 7,000. 7,000 for the whole year, but because we're not getting that income at the start, we're getting that income throughout the year. That's worth 69.40 at the beginning of the year. And then the integral from 1 to 8 of 6,200. Again, the parentheses are going to be important here. Oh gosh. We don't need 2 dt's here. 1 is going to be plenty of enough. Negative 0.017 dt. We can find the present value is $70,165.92. So let's use that amount to answer the question. The machine costs $65,000. It's going to make us, we didn't even calculate how much it's going to make us, by the way. We calculated how much is that future money worth to us now. And the future money is going to be worth about 70 grand. Yeah, that's more than the machine costs. So yeah, it's worth it. All right. It's more, it's going to, the present value of this additional income is more than the present cost of 65 grand. Now, I want to compare this with the total additional revenue from this machine, right? The actual total revenue from this machine is different from the present value. The machine's giving us $7,000 the first year, essentially $7,400 the second year because it starts at 7,000 and then it's increasing, you know, for a whole year by 800. So it averages out to be 400 over on that. And then again, that's year 2. And then year 3 is going to be 8,200. Year 4, year 5, year 6, year 7, year 8. I wonder if I actually am adding this correctly. Good, I did. Good, I did. So the total money that this machine gives us is 75 grand. Remember, there's a difference between the revenue that this machine generates and the present value of this revenue. This is the total revenue this machine gives us over the next 8 years. But a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. Wait, yeah, exactly. So future money, this is 75,000 future money. Present money is worth more. So $75,000 in the future is worth $70,000 today because of interest. Okay, so it's this $70,000, it's this present value that we really care about calculating, not the actual total revenue that this thing gives us. Okay, so this is like the main concept from this section is present value is super important because it's not just about, you know, how much money are we making in the long run? It's how much is that long run money worth today? Think of investments, think of interest, think of inflation, lots of I words, really. And that's the cool stuff about these calculations is that the problem is a little bit more complicated than we might originally think. And that's pretty much it for this video. I'm going to do one homework problem in the next one. Let me know if you have any questions. And I hope you're enjoying this section. I think it's really cool.